And we're going to the USHL. Player from Muskegon, the Lumberjacks, plays both wings, ranked 49th on the Craigslist. We're talking about Daniil Gushchin. And what was the first thing that came to mind when you saw him play for the first time?
Well, the first time I saw him play was as an underage player playing with the older group. And, you know, when you start to watch a younger, first of all, it's noticeable when you see an 02 playing with the 01 group. And so you go, well, he must be a pretty good player. But then you see the situations he's being used in. And, you know, we talk about coaches, right? Like, I mentioned earlier about Dale Hunter talking about how he uses the coaches give you great intel on players by how they use them. So now you're watching a younger player being used in these offensive situations, and you're going, okay, so the coach trusts him, and the coach sees this ability. And then obviously the player has to show that. And Daniil is a player that's really cagey and he's really smart. And, you know, obviously you can look at his physical stature and know that he's not the biggest of players, but he's quick with his head and he's quick with his hands and he gets in and out of spots, you know, real effectively where it becomes very difficult for an opponent to really get a beat on him. And you know, he's a really good give-and-go player. You know, he's a player that understands, okay, I'm on the attack. I got to give the puck up here to get that defenseman's focus off of me, and then I can get back into a spot to receive the puck back. And he does that exceptionally well. He's a very gifted offensive player. His mind is always working. And I think he's got a terrific chance to be a really good, solid offensive player at the National Hockey League level.
From what I've seen of him, when he wants to take off, he can turn on the jets. He seems to be able to go from 0 to 60 very quickly. And, you know, like one highlight I saw, he was killing a penalty loose puck, and he kind of went from a standing position to a breakaway in the blink of an eye. This guy in tight has lightning quick hands, especially on breakaways, but even just those in tight situations, some of the highlights I saw, he was going, you know, backhand, forehand before the goalie even reacted.
You need fast hands if you're going to score in the tight spaces. And, you know, one of the things about Gushchin that he does exceptionally well, you know, he's able to, you know, lean in with his body, and opponents might think that they have him checked, but because his hands, and you know, good offensive players don't get their hands tied up. Like, they're able to keep their hands free, and, you know, Patrick Kane is a great example of that. And, you know, what looks like, oh, we got him, I'm standing next to him. Well, if you don't have his stick and you don't have his hands in a place where he can't take advantage, more times than not, they do take advantage of you. And absolutely, you've described it so well when you talk about Gushchin's ability in and around that area. You know, his skill set, his mind is really built to be with the best players, and that's why I think he's got a chance to be a real solid NHL player.